Today on an all-new episode of Do It Live.
Sometimes you overshoot your parking spot and you just back it in. Now, apparently, that says something about your personality.
Also, are you hungry? Forget girl dinner. There's something new on the menu, but it's only for the boys.
Okay.
Like Saturdays.
Yeah, and the robot apocalypse is here, but they're not coming for your jobs or your families. They're coming for your peonies? We'll explain.
Your what?
Your peonies. The flower.
Oh.
Okay, that's a good one, Bobby. That made me excited. I'm keeping my ears peeled for that one. Okay.
Good for you, getting excited for that.
Keeping those ears peeled.
Something else I'm excited for. Hate to be morbid here, but I couldn't be more excited for death. Supreme just dropped something that is making me look forward to the grave. We'll have more information on that for you coming up.
Okay, that and so much more coming up on another award-eligible episode of Do It Live.
And it starts right.
Live and in color from Los Angeles, Channel 5 presents Do It Live.
With Andy
Which one
Reismeyer,
was
Samantha Cortese, Robert Puente, and Bobby Gonzalez.
Plus comprehensive news coverage from Air and Sea Patrol in the fastest moving news report in television. And now, here is Do It Live.
Very good. That's a nice little throwback.
Yeah, nice little voice work.
Little memory of the way things were at one point. I'm Andy Reismeyer. Welcome to Do It Live. You can find me on the internet at AndyKTLA.
I'm Samantha Cortese. You can find me on Instagram at KTLASam. We love when you interact with us. Do that in the Facebook group on the main page. We much appreciate it. Facebook.com/group/Do-It-Live.
I don't want
show.
to say. Sorry. I don't want to be desperate, but I don't want to sound desperate. Rather, I am just desperate.
Yes.
But it really helps us when you reach out and you leave messages and you leave comments and stuff, and you send it to KTLA and you tell them how much you like what we're doing. We really appreciate that, and it's so wonderful that we still get to do this for so many years, and we would love to see you on that Instagram and Facebook page.
And I don't know if you saw on that Facebook page, Bobby, but your shirtless photo was shared.
Yeah.
No way. That's so
yeah,
funny.
no, that's okay. We can ignore that. I'm going a little Pugsley Adams today. I'm Bobby Gonzalez. You can follow me on Instagram at Sounds Like Bobby. And of course, the man who once again forgot his sleeves at home. What's up, Rob?
I'm trying to be like you, my friend. You got your cuffs up there too a little bit. I'm seeing a little bit of white there, buddy. You know?
I was actually noticing how different the skin tone that you have is now versus what the photo that was posted. Like you were tanned and toned, and now you look like me a little bit with the skin color.
Well, I don't know what's happening. I don't.
Doing a lot of work.
It's all right.
on
There's
that.
a lot of they look big.
Too much self-reflecting happening in the opening minutes of this
We
show.
had the lighting guy come in and just
yes.
put some extra spotlights
Yeah,
on
yeah.
your arms there, just to like bring out some of the highlights.
I did powder my face, which I haven't done in a couple shows because, I don't know, who cares?
Yeah.
But maybe that's changing it up. Also, this shirt is. I meant to change out of this
You
shirt.
look great.
That's your
I was doing
McDonald's
all of it.
shirt.
Robert
I
is
was
making
doing,
you.
I was doing a bunch of housework and
grimace.
I ran out of time. So.
All right. Well, that's you look fantastic, Bobby. Yes. Don't mind
Also,
me.
why are we talking about my shirt?
Yeah.
This is like
Honestly, that's fair.
A feast of moths.
Moths
went
just
at his
destroys this
shirt.
one. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Robert Puente, just Rob101 on Instagram. That's the only place you can find me. If you see me anywhere else, it's a fake, it's a bot. Don't accept Bitcoin or crypto advice from any other just Rob101.
Only you.
You might
see my
actually
face on Tinder
you might
anywhere,
actually lose
that's not
some
me.
money.
So yeah.
Can I also say, I think to answer your question, why are we not talking about him? It's like I did not even realize the absurdity of what he was wearing, but it's because the standard deviation from the norm is not very much. Like you expect him to be insane.
Yeah.
Therefore,
I do like that little choker necklace and would borrow it from you,
Okay.
just so you know.
There you go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
do
Yeah.
like it quite a bit.
Thank you, Sam.
Hey, we're talking about parking. We're talking about traffic. There's been a lot of debate over the Waymos in Los Angeles and if they actually are better drivers than those of us behind the wheel. The report that people can control these cars from the Philippines.
Oh,
I mean, there's
love it.
so much to talk about.
love the vibes.
with the Waymo.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting Robot Apocalypse update stuff in the show today.
Yeah.
But let's start with something a little more last century, which
Manual.
is parking your car. Are you an innie or are you an Audi?
So I want to know, would the robo-cars have a preference?
I don't think they have preferences. I think that, like,
They don't park.
Well, mine does.
Drop off.
And mine does badly. So I would say mine like wants to back in, whether it's safe or not.
Your Waymo?
But
No,
don't
my
you have
car,
to like
my car.
start it? You have to start.
I have to tell it to go,
And then
but
it
it
knows based on
always
where
like
you
does
go.
the craziest, most aggressive. It's like, bro, you don't have to be like a crazy. You don't have to park like a
Wait,
crazy
so
person.
your personal vehicle has
personal
the
vehicle has a-
ability to park itself.
Automatic parallel park. It was what they showed me, like that kind of got me to
Parallel.
buy the car. Yeah, parallel
Parallel
park.
park.
Yeah. So
But
you
it can't
can
like
pull in-
back in or out of a spot.
No, but it's like, does anybody have that big of a problem with that? Parallel parking is what people
apparently.
need help with. Well, here's the deal.
I feel like this is not that much that relatable though, because I feel like most people don't have that feature on their car.
Okay, all right. Well,
It's the only
one-
dilemma.
He's
one-
talking about one of his 4 cars. What do you mean unrelatable?
Well, I've got other cars that might be more relatable. Like, anybody have a Porsche in the room that I can relate to?
Yeah.
Well, no. So backing in or
put money in the jar. that was
don't worry, I am up to my eyeballs in debt, and at any minute they are always about to cost me an insane amount of money. All right, I don't have kids. Chill out, everybody. Okay, so do you back in or do you back out of a parking space? LA, one of our favorite topics is parking, but it's the New York Times actually that actually considered this concept and wrote an article about it.
I don't want to hear what they have to say.
Right, as if they have a clue about parking in New York City. But they're looking how a seemingly trivial choice has cultural, safety, and etiquette angles.
Oh, it's not that deep.
It's not that deep. I know. I want to throw up when I said it too. Bobby, can you explain to everybody what that?
Robert, that person shouldn't be driving, is what you
Yeah,
said.
at all.
Can you tell anybody what that clip was titled in Getty?
Okay, well, it was a clip similar to that one. It wasn't actually that one, but it was like that, a bird's eye view of a car struggling to parallel park. The driver in that particular clip was not visible at all. It was just a bird's eye view of a car. And Getty had it slugged, had it titled "Woman Driver Attempting to Park."
I knew you were
It was
gonna
Getty,
say that.
Getty
Oh my
Images,
God.
I swear.
The
I told
absolute
Andy right away, I was like,
misogyny.
you will not believe.
Yeah. No. You told me
Video
you're
is
going to die
titled.
when you find out what this is called.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So anyway, there you see Samantha trying to figure out her way into a parking spot. There's two sort of.
Pretty good for Samantha, actually. If that actually
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I would actually say that.
Catching strays. I just show up to work, and here we are.
Your inability has nothing to do with your gender. If it makes you feel any better, it's
What does that mean? That doesn't
Well,
sound
it's
better.
unfair. It's unfair to say it's because she's a woman that she's a bad driver. Like, let her
I
just
am
be
not
a bad driver.
driver. It's
on
because she's
her own.
Samantha. She's a bad
Because
driver.
she's Samantha.
I wouldn't say you're a bad driver. You're just a violent driver.
Yeah.
aggressive. Yeah.
in Los Angeles, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
First of all, you kind of have to be. Otherwise, you're just going to get
Yeah, you're gonna get steamrolled.
on the freeway.
that's fair.
I think, is it LA Times 404 or whatever did that
Yes.
whole, like, if you're taking the 101 to the 110,
Yep.
like, use the 4th lane, and everyone's like, delete this now. This is only.
Don't tell anybody.
Please get the gatekeeper because this is only for locals. This is our fast way to get around everybody trying to merge. I want to do that video on the importance of zipper merging, and that does not make me an aggressive driver.
We're all waiting.
Yesterday,
No one is stopping you, by the way. We all make videos whenever we want about whatever we want.
Fine,
5
I don't
years in the
have
making.
Yeah. You don't have time. I don't have time to hear about this again.
Okay, yesterday. So this is what happened. I'm getting on
Oh
the
my
freeway.
God.
I'm getting on the freeway at work, right? I'm leaving work, getting onto the 101, and I go all the way to the end, as one is supposed to do with zipper merging.
Yeah, oh my
and
God,
this chick
still.
speeds up to make sure I can't get in, and she looks over at me and goes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm getting on the freeway.
Yeah.
And she just looks at me like, I don't care. You're not getting in front of me. And I'm like, I'm making this video. It's time. We need to, it's the flow of traffic. If you're using that lane to cut around, wrong. Have
Okay.
some integrity.
Are we done? Can we move on
But-
now?
Wait,
Would you
hold on.
have used that lane to cut around?
Like, I feel like you
In
do.
emergencies.
You do this so regularly that I'm not kidding. I feel like Jacob Emrani could sponsor a Samantha
Zipper
complaining
merge
about
rant.
zipper.
I've
Yeah,
thought
zipper
about-
merge rant.
knows
about-
I've
they
thought
like
about
it.
yeah, like the
Oh,
Law
9 minutes.
Brothers.
9 minutes. Before
Yeah.
Samantha brought up zipper merge.
Forget this gay
Any
history.
traffic
We
story.
got-
Any story involving a car.
Right.
Well,
Right.
because
Just-
then it backs
gotta
up
talk about
all the
zipper
way,
merging.
all the way to the
Yeah, but
light
here's the thing.
for people trying to
Usually,
turn
when
onto
people,
the freeway.
when people have fallback anecdotal stories that are like, I gotta tell this story, everyone's like, yeah, that's totally right. You're the only person who we know who is like diehard zipper merger. I
Because
know you
it
believe.
backs up traffic all the way to
Sam,
the
it's
street
not gonna
with
happen.
people trying to get on the freeway. But wait, I've thought about emailing because Ginger's doing those little traffic tips now.
Yeah.
This obviously needs to be one of
should
them.
Yeah.
We should collab.
Oh, well,
for
hold on. So
sure.
tell me, what's your traffic tip for zipper merging? Just so we get this
What do
clear.
you mean?
Clear
What's
lettering.
your
Oh, you
getting-
mean clear lettering here.
Pull up any previous episode and you'll.
Have you ever, if you
Let
talk
her
to
say it.
Samantha
Let her
for 8
say it.
minutes or
Let
more,
her say it.
Thank you. As you are getting on the freeway, use that lane, go all the way down. Go all the way down. Just go all the way down
no, keep going.
and get on like a zipper. You're just getting off one and one and one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Zipper.
great, beautiful.
You're
nice
not
job.
cutting. You're entering the flow of traffic.
All right.
Like this.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, like a zipper,
Yes.
like we've all known since we were children.
No, but you don't know. So many people get on and then just boop.
Yeah. No, I know. We're
Believe
all
it
just,
or not, this is not what this story is about.
It's a choose your own adventure kind of life that we have,
Balderdash.
Samantha.
Ba-
So
Ba-
the-
Bandersnatch?
Balder.
Netflix,
That's what
Black
it was.
Mirror.
I didn't even know her. You know what? Never mind. So this is one of those things. This is one of those things that that I think a lot of people have opinions about. Right? Do you back into the spot? Do you pull into the spot? People who back in say that it's safer, that it's easier to do with a big vehicle.
Yeah.
People who pull in the front, who are normal human beings, are like, no, you're holding up traffic when you're trying to do a four-point turn. But of course, a lot of it has to say about our value of effort, right? Do you save the hard part for later? Get it out of the way now?
Oh my.
Do you back in strictly for the easy exit, or are you doing it for show? I think this is another thing. People who do the cool guy back in so they can like walk away from their car and look back and be like, oh, that's my car. I'm telling you, there's people like that in the world.
I do want to say, when you did this story on the morning news and then you solicit viewer, let us know what you
So many people
think,
responded.
and you got a lot of responses for the next hour. I put those, he gives me a doc and I put those on a full screen. The usernames of the people that were aggressively supportive about backing in were exactly the usernames I would
Oh.
expect for a person to back into a spot.
For
Just
instance,
saying.
Dead Kennedy says trucks and SUVs are mostly backed into parking spots because with a longer wheelbase, it makes it easier. But if you were a real man who drives either of those, you'd already know this.
Wow. Oh my.
And Will Davison says, we back into our spots because we're better than you and we know it. Pull into your spots, peasants.
well, at least they're honest.
This point is moot entirely if you have a rear view camera, which I do. And
You're
most
saying there is no
cars do.
skill in backing in.
There's
not
no
cool
skill in
anymore.
backing in. No, nothing. I don't even look in my rearview mirror. I don't even look at it. These side mirrors. I just look at the screen right there and I just whoop, whoop, whoop. It
You've
takes
seen
me
his
3
bumpers,
seconds.
by the way?
whoop,
You've seen his
whoop, whoop,
bumpers?
whoop.
They're almost as bad as yours.
Wow.
Also, love that you all have your comments about my driving. But let's just reference what actually you were hit, so that doesn't count.
I'm no faults.
Yeah,
I have
me
like
too.
3 no fault accidents.
I've
in the
had,
last
except for
year.
the one that was my fault. The other ones are definitely
The
not
one
my
that you
fault.
didn't tell anyone about.
Yeah, the one that I still don't talk about. on
You
TV.
left the scene.
Yeah,
of.
dude, don't. Let's not get into it.
Another company is planning to launch robo-taxis in the LA area in coming months. Uber. Uber is partnering with Volkswagen to offer self-driving taxi networks for shared rides that shuttle multiple passengers. That's according to the LA Times. The company plans to launch the service in LA early this year. Testing has already begun. The vehicles that Uber will reportedly use include an autonomous electric minivan. Andy, it's your chance to ride in the ID.
Oh, great! I love the Volkswagen ID. You know that bus, the Buzz? No, not the ID, the Buzz. The ID
ID
is
Buzz.
Is it the ID Buzz? Man, this is why this thing didn't take off because nobody even knows the name of it.
Yeah, Uber is planning to build fast charging stations to power all the vehicles, but there's another option coming to town. I have always very much enjoyed my Waymo experiences.
I love Waymo. I love Waymo.
Yeah.
I think people that hate on Waymo just speak from not inexperience.
Yeah,
Yes.
there have been a
Try it,
yeah.
and you'll be a changed person.
Every time you like the magic of when it works well, which it almost always does. Actually always does. I've never experienced it being bad. I did see one time where it just stopped. It just pulled over and stopped for a little bit, and then it was like, okay, we'll go. And then there was another time when I was driving down a street. I was in the car, and then in front of the car was a little dog being pulled by a guy who had jaywalked. And the Waymo slowed down, but it did not stop. And I was like, oh no, please stop, because I'm late already, and I don't want to have to stop and deal with whatever's gonna happen. No, I'm
I
kidding.
mean-
No, because I didn't want the guy to get hurt or the dog.
Well,
getting
yeah,
hurt.
the trauma of witnessing your Waymo hit something. I know you're a big fan of the ID Buzz,
Yeah.
the big VW bus sales. Big problems with their actual sales. Within 2 years after launch, Germany reports 177 vehicles sold in the first quarter.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, look,
177, not 177.
I think also as soon as you knew, if you were a potential buyer, if you knew that that car was unpopular and people weren't buying it,
Yeah.
then you're really going to double down on not buying it because you think, well, obviously, if other people think it's bad, then I don't want it. And secondly, does that mean that they're going to discontinue it? Does that mean that there won't be parts available for it? Is this a stupid idea to buy?
The sales peaked in 2023. It looks like July to August at 1,000.
That is such
Sales.
a few amount of people who bought that car.
1,000. The other problem I think a lot of people have said, at least in the comments on these car websites, is that they know that if this car was diesel or gas, it would have sold like crazy.
Hotcakes. People would have loved it because it's cool and funky and weird, and it kind of feels like early You know what it reminds me of is like, do you remember when the iMac first came out?
Yes, it is
in
the
the
car
late.
of
It's the
the
car version of the
computer.
late '90s, early 2000s
yes.
iMac, and it's just like so yummy and delicious, and they had fun colors, and they just were a cool idea in a world full of gray and beige, and yet we just can't have nice things because the range was terrible and. They didn't have a gas version.
Okay, but the car side, even just going back to the Uber robotaxi thing, like, is anybody going to use this? Because from what I understand, it's a shared robotaxi only, so you have to ride in it with strangers.
Yeah, I think some people
Who's
are
gonna
really
do that?
into that Uber pool thing. I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, I think some
People
people
don't
do
even
that.
like to talk to their human Uber drivers
I know,
anymore.
but there's a different set of weirdos. I think there's people who go there to try to meet other people, and I remember
Take the
when
bus.
when I was.
Take the bus.
You don't want to meet those people.
What women are doing that?
Well, it's interesting because when I was when I was younger, I would do this because we were so broke. So what? No, Jack, my buddy Jack and I figured out a hack, which was that if you call them at the same time, so few people were doing it, it was likely that we were both going to get the pool, and it was cheaper than splitting an Uber at the time.
Wow.
And so we did, but then one time we got one real interesting woman who was also riding by herself.
Oh.
And then they let me and Jack off, and she went home with the Uber driver. Like they were flirting, and then I think they went home together.
Okay, so it's kind of like you're describing like hacking the system, similar to like when people try to hack the single rider, when they try to
Yes,
hack the
at
single rider at
Disneyland.
Disneyland, be like,
Yep.
if we all go and say we're single rider, technically there's a chance that they'll
Yeah.
just put us on together anyway.
Yeah.
Does
but-
that ever happen?
It used to, very rarely, but now I think they strive to not do
That's
that.
like kind of like another version of like, if we're all single by 45, then we're all
Right.
gonna get
All
married
gonna
and
get
buy a
married.
house together.
Let's buy a house together. We'll all get married to each other.
we just gonna love living in a little commune together, everybody.
It'll be just like the real world.
It's no rules, just right.
Who is this person?
It's just, we know him.
Voguing.
Somebody who's got a lot of plans for the future.
Yeah, is this Ben Stiller?
I
Like, who's this?
know.
I'm not really sure where we're going with this.
Thank you for getting me mid-gulp, Robert. I love when you cut to me for no reason.
I'm always
then when-
making the worst
Right,
face.
and,
too.
and the aforementioned bit that we were doing just a little bit earlier, where Samantha was explaining and Bobby was also pantomiming, and then you wouldn't cut to him to the actual
Well, I
humor of
swear to
what was
God-
happening.
I swear to God, when you guys were having a full-on conversation about the bus or whatever, I swear to God, he was like commenting on Reddit. This dude was on Reddit looking at subreddits. He was just going, and then randomly going. This is like,
What is wrong with you? Do you remember when the news that we would do on our show when it was daily was so boring that you would watch Family Guy?
Family Guy.
You would pop over to 5.1-2, you change your preview monitor so you could watch
and
Family
then you
Guy.
would just start laughing.
And we'd be like, oh, did we say something funny? And you were like, no, the
no.
baby's talking again. And the dog talks and they can understand it, but the baby can't. No one knows
that
what the baby's
silly
saying.
baby thinks he's so precocious.
what's going on Reddit, Rob? Anything good?
Nothing,
it's time for a break.
Just bad.
Robert is AITA every day.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He is. And the answer is yes, he is.
the
All right,
answer
quick
is
break.
yes.
When we come back, Robot
we'll see.
Apocalypse continues with our East Hollywood delivery robot who has gone rogue. First they were drowning, and now they are
We have thoughts on this story.
frowning.
They're destroying property, aren't
Garden.
they? Yeah.
A garden.
They're brown.
It destroyed her
well,
garden.
There goes the spoiler alert. That's all.
Listen, if no one, if people were watching our show and gonna stay tuned for the teases anyway, great.
This chick. Welcome back to Do It Live. We're so happy you've joined us on this day.
Yeah. It really feels like that kind of day. I woke up today, I was like, man, doesn't it feel, it's really one of those.
It's a
day.
day.
It's a day.
It's the
It's
day.
day.
It is a
It's
day.
that day.
Well, we hope you found us on social media on this day. I do want to say some people are commenting that they're catching up on shows at a later time.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're one of those people on that day, you look great today too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We also love it when you comment on YouTube if you want to do that, if you want to share the YouTube.
Yeah, I don't think a
That's
lot of
cool.
people know we're on YouTube.
We're there,
The show
but
gets
we're on-
posted later.
we're everywhere.
We're in places that I didn't even know we were on. I didn't know we were on the KTLA website on the homepage until like yesterday.
I was up in
There's a
Simi
little
Valley
section you can
filling
find.
up, and I was at the gas station TV, and it was like, today on 5, or Do It Live.
Oh,
Are you serious?
What
Are
kind
you
of
making that up?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
it was a Sinclair gas station.
Yeah.
Certainly wasn't.
I feel like if we were on any gas station, it would be the one with the little dinosaur.
Circle K.
That's Sinclair.
Sinclair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Then
they,
never mind.
They are
Andy
not.
already shot that down.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely never
Well,
mind.
we were
Right, is that
different parent.
upper class gas station.
Yeah.
High
No,
society.
they own other TV stations.
Remember?
Well, Sinclair, yeah, but they don't own the gas station. Is that the same company?
I thought you were making that
I
joke.
thought that's
No.
the joke.
Yeah, I thought that was a joke too.
No, I just wanted to say the gas station with the dinosaur.
You just like dinosaur
I
gas
just like the
stations.
dinosaur gas station. It reminds me of Toy Story for
This
some
is
reason.
fun.
I don't
Hey,
know.
if you were, that's a first date question. If you were on the TV at any gas station, which one would it be and why?
If you were a zipper merger,
You know what?
just actually tell me if you are, because if you're not, this is over.
This is
Speaking of gas stations, you want to know something I really miss?
what?
Tell me.
And I don't know why, and I've been thinking about them a
Oh
lot.
my
lately.
god, I'm
boy.
excited.
The 76 antenna balls.
Oh,
Remember these?
Oh, people's
And
cars.
the Jack in the Box ones.
Yeah.
And then there were the Wiener Schnitzel ones.
You know what we're missing?
What happened to antenna balls? There's no
Antennas.
Antennas.
But that we lost
Something.
an important piece of Americana. Was the
Yes.
antenna balls. You could get them at Disneyland.
I
Right.
collected the Disneyland ones. Somebody.
Where are all the antenna balls?
no, they're
know-
untenable.
I know. Unattainable. They're unattainable. That's great.
You know,
That's
to
good.
to
like that.
echo that same sentiment, do you remember in the 90s where all the cars were wearing bras? Every
Bras?
car had a bra.
I remember
in
the
the
pink
90s.
mustache.
Pink.
Did I
and
say
the
70s? I meant
eyelashes.
90s. They had eyelashes, and now it's like the 70s. Like no cars have bras.
And you
They
remember-
burned all the
Yeah,
bras.
That's true. I remember when people used to have like Garfield suction cup to their back window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suction cup.
See,
there.
it's funny because now, like, you can't put a bunch of stuff in your car in LA anymore, right? Like, we all knew the aunt who had the back deck of the
Stuffed
Elantra
animals.
filled with stuffed animals
Yeah.
and Looney Tunes characters.
A tissue box?
And
Very
now,
practical.
and now it's like if you do that, it's a 5150. You know,
That's
it's
a
like
little-
you're a
Hey,
danger
what are they
to
doing
yourself
on
and
Reddit?
others.
What are
On my
they?
phone, I'm paying attention.
I'm just kidding.
They have Reddit
Robert,
on
an
computers.
antenna ball was a little ball that you would put on an antenna. An antenna was a thing on a car that you would have to get like a radio signal.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I was gonna say, I
like
collected
Bluetooth.
the Disney Mickey Mouse ear ice cream dipped.
Yes.
That's the one I had on my car with the
Oh.
little bite taken out of it.
Yeah.
And I was so excited because, like you said, these were hot ticket items. People were like trying to buy them at Downtown Disney
They only
before they
cost, like,
sold out.
$7 or something.
But they would sell out, and you're like, oh, I really want that one. Someone at Cal State Fullerton parking structure stole it.
Well,
that was part of the problem. So you could just easily.
someone just boop. That's what, yeah. And also, antennas, as you said, are gone now, and also like even many cars don't even have AM radio anymore.
Yeah,
which
my
is
car doesn't. It gets
wild.
HD2 or like
For KFI. Yeah.
KFI is like
Yeah.
whatever. So shucks, can't listen to you talk for another 2 hours a week.
Well, that's okay. I'm not worried about it.
It is time for a robot apocalypse.
Hit it.
Oh.
They're coming for our jobs and they're coming for our families. There is no escape, only robot-based atrocities. Robot apocalypse update.
Oh boy, check it out, guys. An East Hollywood woman says a food delivery robot destroyed her garden. That's right, the autonomous vehicle was seen uprooting the woman's plants before getting tangled in her fence. Kaya Reel says she ran outside when she heard all the commotion. She says the robot had completely wrecked her garden before just rolling away. Here's what she had to say.
I chased after it, and I looked like a total crazy person, like running after a robot in the middle of the street, like yelling after it. I was like trying to block it, like get in its way, and it was trying to go around me.
Didn't she just win gold at the Olympics?
Oh,
This guy skater. She looks like
yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was she was trying to stop it to what end? What?
I
Be
guess
like, hey,
stop
robot,
ruining
Back
her
here,
garden.
You come back here and you fix my
paid for
fence.
that.
pay for this, yeah.
The company behind the robot, Coco, as you see there, says it's reimbursing the woman for the damage to her garden, and it will take steps to ensure that similar incidents don't ever happen again.
Would you say that this woman is probably not in love with the Coco?
I would say
Oh my
no.
gosh.
I also wonder
She's
with
not
this.
Team Coco.
She's not Team Coco. That's a much better version of that joke. So thank God you're here. The other thing about this is like, you gotta.
Sorry.
I have questions.
Yeah, I do too. But also, when you put those little fences up, I know I'm not the only one. Coco is not the
Look at
only
him
one.
Those little-
rolling through. Look how fast this guy's going.
that little black.
Those little black fences
Yeah, that's
are a terror. I have tripped so many times
on you.
of levels of sobriety I don't feel it are important to add to this conversation, but frequently throughout the history of Los Angeles. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
pause it. Can we pause it?
No,
Oh.
I don't know if I can.
That-
That right there, that metal
Oh,
right
yeah,
there. Okay, yes.
Yeah, those little
Fantastic.
wired.
I've yelled at somebody to put that up.
What are your thoughts?
Isn't that city property? That shouldn't even have that, right?
Because it's your front.
Oh.
he's just pointing
Outside
to
the
that.
perimeter.
You know
of the
what?
property.
It's funny. It's city property until it has a liability
Right.
that they can charge you
Right.
for.
Yes.
I don't
Not
want to
necessarily.
besmirch this woman. But
Please,
sometimes
besmirch.
well no, I'm not trying to, but like for example, there was a beehive under a buckled part of the sidewalk.
Classic local news story. Perfect.
And I learned, because I just did a little bit of research, it fell on the
City's
side.
responsibility.
It was the city's responsibility. But it is still the person who lives there's prerogative to maintain and beautify that area. So I understand why this woman said that she had a little garden, and it may be the city's property. My issue is what constitutes a garden.
I guess.
Well, maybe it was growing to be
Anything
a
you-
garden. Maybe that's why that fence was there. Maybe she was aiming to hopefully something will eventually grow. She was
Yes.
hoping to like aid it, nurture it.
You have a problem with the quality of
it's
said
funny. Like you're moving past her as a victim and straight to just
No,
shaming her
it's-
abilities as a green
no,
thumb.
no, no, no.
Is this, yeah.
I think it's a
So not
bummer.
green enough.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little. It might be verging on dramatic.
I would say I'm
to
not
say that
stretched
the
to- Yeah.
robot
destroyed
destroyed
her
a
garden.
woman's garden.
And it's not like the news has ever, used any kind of hyperbole, especially on
I'm
a
just
Sunday
saying there's
a Sunday night
reason
show.
it's hard to trust the media sometimes. And if we're calling this
A garden.
and a destruction of such garden
of plants.
of weeds, maybe not even plants. Like
look, Robert's picking up what I'm throwing down here. If we want to play it just one more time, I
didn't
did
even
see a
see- yeah, I didn't
succulent,
see
so
what
I
the-
may.
Let me.
Like,
see
over
does
there
it
was very
show the-
pretty.
some
does it
greenery up
show
there.
the-
Yeah.
Okay, but is there a close up of the actual damage?
I
Was
think
it
in a
after
second,
the-
but I don't know if I can pause.
No, okay, no,
I
let it
don't
go.
think
Let
we
it
have-
roll.
yeah.
Let's see how this plays
Yes,
out. Okay, we
So
got
it,
some
it
skid
removes some of the
marks.
fence there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Terrible.
So the dramatic
Yeah,
walk up to we have it's some greens around a tree.
That is the garden right
okay,
there.
That's some
I see like a
succulent.
desert plant.
A
Yes,
succulent.
succulent.
Well,
One
to
succulent.
be fair, maybe they haven't sprouted yet. It's still just February.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. But
But-
are we being a little dramatic
Well, I think
saying that
it
Coco
would be
ruined a
better
woman's garden?
for everyone, Coco's included, if they didn't traipse through gardens
of
or
course,
not.
I'm not arguing that.
What if Coco delivers the new plants?
This-
Oh,
Yes.
little
Here's the garden.
seedlings?
Well,
Maybe
That's
it was
really
all on
cute.
purpose. Maybe Coco saw this and was like, "This is not a garden. What is
Oh, do you
this?"
think? Oh, here we go.
City property.
No, or Coco being the epitome of robot looks at this organic opportunity where there's
Yes.
things growing here. I can't have that.
Isn't that in
I gotta
WALL-E?
run that.
War won by inches.
That's a war won by just a seedling at a time.
Interesting.
Yeah. They don't like, isn't that in Wally? They don't like seeing the sprout. Or
That's
like
like
the little
the
green.
No,
or they're
I think that
That's
is
the good
sign
thing
that.
The
that
world
things
is
are
coming
growing
back.
back.
Yeah.
I've told a
Yeah.
man.
I know that movie is really hard to interpret.
I haven't seen it since film class.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, no,
if
it's
you haven't
really
seen
good.
it, you should
We
watch
used
WALL-E.
it to study sound engineering.
I once told a man to put up one of those fences that Coco
I
destroyed.
once told a man.
You told a man to do that? Why would you? Why would a man tell another man to do that?
He was yelling at me saying, "Don't let your dog pee there."
Oh.
And I'm just walking him. I don't have control. He picks up the leg. He picks up the leg. And I was like, "Sir, if you don't want my dog peeing on this set of your property, put up a little fence and like that. We'll stay away from it." And so he got really flustered after that.
Could
Did
you
he put
argue
up a
that he
fence?
gave you a verbal fence?
He can't argue that. Yes. And I will argue back that doesn't
Now,
count.
did you take offense at it?
Ah.
I took a little offense. That's why I was a little snarky with that.
Just like Coco, which took a little fence.
And speaking of, Bobby took fencing.
I did take fencing.
Wow, that's
I
super
did.
fun, and
Why'd you quit?
I don't have a lot of time
I
for
took
fencing
one
as an
semester
adult.
and then I graduated.
Yeah, well, why'd you
yeah,
quit?
I took fencing my senior year of college. So what?
Oh, so, you're a
Why'd you
quitter.
quit?
I just
You
needed credits.
Can't
by
commit
that
to stuff.
point.
Can't commit to things like fencing, a very easy and regularly
One
practiced
semester of
sport.
French, one semester of Italian, one semester of fencing.
Did you
So
really
what?
take a semester of Italian?
I did. Yeah.
Wow. Molto bene.
Hey, have we talked about this robot? Continuing on a robot apocalypse, the robots that have been hacked.
Oh, I saw stuff
This
going
is
around about
crazy.
this.
A man has discovered a
Yeah.
very, not so insignificant, very serious security flaw in his robot vacuum. He used AI to access and control, not his, but 6,700 robot vacuums across the world.
Whoa.
The man told The Verge, a publication, he was looking for a way to hack into his own DJI robot vacuum. He booted up Claude, which you know is an AI
I'm
bot.
hearing more and more about Claude, dude. This
Yeah.
is wild.
Claude could be your new man that you could tell to do stuff.
We have more on that in a
Who
moment.
who makes Claude?
Claude
Who's
is
behind it?
Anthropic.
Anthropic.
So a competitor to Gemini or ChatGPT. It is an AI bot that helped him not only hack into his, but of course, access every other DJI robot vacuum in the world. He was able to look at floor plans of people's homes.
No way.
He turned on the video cameras, listened to their microphones. Their pets' heads were falling off. He was even able to remotely operate the vacuums with a PlayStation 5 controller.
Oh, man.
So did our man build a robot army of sucking and spying vacs? No, he did not. He notified DJI of what would happen, and then DJI said, okay, we fixed it. No outsiders can hack in anymore. No comment about why we can access all everybody's
Stuff and anyway.
things anyhow. But by the
And
way,
he wasn't rewarded a bounty?
he was
He was never heard from again.
Yeah, seriously.
Usually when you find these kinds of exploits, the companies
yeah.
will reward you a bounty for,
Right.
for
People
that,
like
for
make
such
a
thing.
living off of that.
I know.
Like
Yeah.
coders and stuff. to
when
find.
Reach for comment, he said, that sucks.
Yeah.
Nice.
It doesn't apply to Roombas, by the way.
But it very well can.
No.
I mean, if
Cool. I mean, I guess
DJI,
anything
you know,
could. Can you imagine at the end of a news story, be like, well, this
could
doesn't,
happen.
It doesn't involve anybody else.
Yeah.
But it could. Back to you.
on Anthropic on Claude, they were recently just accused of hacking the Mexican government. This is recent news. It just released a couple hours ago. 150 gigabytes worth of data apparently pulled from government. This is the Mexican government, all through Claude. What's his first name? Hesnick, press war secretary.
Claude Hesnick? Oh.
No.
Hegseth.
Hegseth.
Heseth.
Pete Hegseth?
What's his
Thank
name?
you. Yes.
Heseth?
Thank you. Yes, that guy. He apparently
I
came.
didn't even know who we were trying to get
Yes,
to.
yes, you did.
I got
You
it.
got to
I
it.
got it. He got sex. War. Sex. Sex.
Pete Hegseth.
Sexeth?
Please.
Mr. Hexeth?
He also recently came forward saying Anthropic's Claude is too powerful and they actually need to be suppressed. That AI coding, there's something wrong there. And so if they're hacking DJI robots, if they're hacking Mexican governments, there's something kind of wild going on. And if this
Yeah.
kind of progresses, this snowballs, maybe in a year or two, who knows what
I
we're
mean,
gonna
we're
hear.
we're living in a security state. Of course,
Yeah.
it's like it reminds me of like with the awful Guthrie stuff where it was it Ring or one of those where just like, oh yeah, we have the footage even though they weren't subscribed to the
Right.
footage
Oh,
saving
sorry.
plan.
We're going to
Oh,
have to use
we-
enhancement
you-
to find
You
it.
don't have access to it,
Yeah.
but actually a week later with
we
the FBI,
do,
we
yes.
do have
we
access.
we were able to get it even though they don't pay for that
Yeah.
or have that
Oh,
enabled.
let me see what I can
Let
find.
me let me do some
just-
tinkering. We might be able to.
Beep, bop, boop, bop, beep, bop,
It's
boop,
crazy.
bop.
It's kind of nuts.
Beep,
Yeah.
beep, bop, bop.
You know what's never been hacked though?
Surveillance state.
Bitcoin. So just for you know.
Yeah, it's just,
so you know.
it has the value's been hacked away.
But the technology has never been hacked.
So at what point, where do you think Bitcoin's going right now?
It's at 60, 65. Actually went up to 68 today, I think. I don't know what it will be when you watch this episode. However, many people say it could go as low as 50, maybe even 40. I don't know. I don't like to bet against Bitcoin. I just like to buy as often as I can. And so that's what my goal is. I can't change my plan because if I do so, I think it'll just lead to failure. So I have to stay on my course. Whether or not it leads me off a cliff or not, we'll find out
What
in a few years.
tease that? That's how you tease a story.
Yep. Stay tuned.
Could be a cliff. Maybe not.
Will we claw back to the top of the plateau? Find out after the break.
The answer
To the plateau?
The answer.
What doctors say. I wish there was a way for me to be able to like have an excuse for why I still mix up both of your names.
Why
This is
does he
what
look at all of
Mexican-
us when he says mex up?
He looks at the brown people. It's all the
There's
same.
literally no other people to look at than the brown people on this show.
Sure. Well, I don't know. I mean, these are.
That's right. I let you borrow those for the afternoon.
I just had this conversation with my mom, by the way, who said like maybe a more appropriate application of my heritage would be Latina, because I'm also Portuguese. So she's like, she like fought back. She's like, you're not only Mexican.
Sounds like she doesn't really love that about you.
No, because she is.
Portuguese is European
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Portuguese
she-
and Spanish are white.
Well, that's kind of what she was saying. She's like,
Oh.
no, because I made a comment like, oh, I'm half Mexican, whatever. She's like, well, you're also Spanish and Portuguese. I'm like, okay, well,
You know, I
guess,
think you
yep,
could also
that's
say
true.
technically a lot of Mexico is also half
Right.
Spanish.
And
Maybe more,
Portuguese, yeah.
depending on how far back you go in history.
Yeah. On a long enough timeline.
Well, unrelated
How's
to
it
that,
feel to be the minority?
boy kibble. I like by
Yeah, boy kibble. How's
Well,
it?
racially, you're the minority gender-wise.
yeah.
But I'm gonna live longer than you guys.
That's
God willing.
fine,
She
honestly.
She said that definitively too.
Also,
No, I don't know.
God
We don't know
willing,
that
you want
anything.
us to
Do
die?
you have a plan?
No, I'm just saying. I hope we all live long and healthy lives.
Yeah.
Ah!
Okay, well, this has been really fun. Good thing that we're not the BAFTAs because at least we'll cut all that out.
Well, I guess that kind of leads me to like the perfect transition because I hope I
Is
don't.
it?
Oh, we're
Is it the
really
perfect transition?
scared.
It is. I hate to kind of hijack it here, but like, if I don't live a long life, that's fine because you could just bury me in this. A Supreme dropping their latest casket here. It's their accessory for 2026, and it has everyone on Hypebeast and all the Reddits going nuts. Estimated to cost around $2 to $8 grand. We're saying
That's honestly not that bad.
No,
Yeah.
not that bad. Huh?
If you've been in the market, we've been looking.
It's made of plastic.
Yeah.
I think the actual non-branded version of this one costs $2,000. So I think because this has the Supreme logo on it, it's gonna double, maybe triple. So yeah, there you go, guys. I'm ready for the grave.
Are
and as
people
long as
still
I'm going
into
there-
No, I
Supreme?
don't
I
like
thought Supreme was like nobody.
I think it's
thought
over.
nobody cared about
Yeah.
Supreme anymore.
This 2026 drop is straight fire. They have so
Yeah.
many great accessories, so many great jackets. I think this 2026 lineup will be phenomenal. I'm gonna try to get something. I will see. They have some Shure mics for our show here. Andy said those are poo-poo, so don't worry about that. So unfortunately.
Did you say those are poo poo?
That's what I said. I said those are poo poo. I said, those are poo poo.
All those Shure mics.
There's sure, Mike. I am sure.
Supreme branded Shure mics.
Poo poo.
You guys remember girl dinner, right? Or as girls would have called it, dinner.
Caesar salad, French fries,
Yeah.
glass of nice sharp Sauvignon
A
Blanc,
very cold
or a Sancerre.
Sauvignon Blanc. Well, now there's something called Boy Kibble, and it is a result of the Boys of the Manosphere. They're answering back. They didn't need to. Could have just let the girls have it, but go off, Kings. They're posting on TikTok, making and eating simple bowls of ground beef and rice, and like I said, it's called Boy Kibble. It's inexpensive. It's relatively
This
easy.
looks like the farmer's dog.
This actually looks much better than what we have seen the Boy Kibble.
Yeah,
This actually looks
the
good,
boy
you're right.
kibble.
This like,
I think
looks like
is,
churrasco, a little
is
Brazilian.
supposed to be. It's like unseasoned chicken, right? It's like
It's
unseasoned everything.
beef, just unseasoned ground beef and rice.
It's the equivalent if you could feed it to your dog.
Spices and and vegetables are optional because of course they are when you're 1 degree from slurping Purina in a trough. The dietitian says while it's intriguing, you really need variety. Eating only Boy Kibble will likely give you poor nutrient value, possibly high blood sugar and high cholesterol. Boring Boy World has made a fetish out of being raw and simple, doing the most by doing the least. Remember how much cooler and more masculine you were if you went on an airplane without a book or a video? You were a real man if you raw dogged that flight. But is it really cool to do so little? And is it really doing so little when you are doing so much? Like, I can think of nothing less manly and nothing more cringe and needy than filming yourself cooking food, eating, and tracking your gains for other people to pay attention to. You might be thinking, Andy, you're just jealous of these buff guys.
Yeah,
and
you
you'd
don't
be
wanna get
right.
frame mogged.
But I think about this as like a
so smogged right now.
in addition to this
Your
being like
cortisol levels are
no one
spiking.
right. No one asked for this. It's not interesting. It's also like you don't want to date a really fit person.
What?
You don't.
Says who?
You don't want to date anybody who has something that is their identity. Let me explain.
This is the opposite of that dude that just got busted on like Love Is Blind.
What happened?
How this guy was like telling this girl, he's like, I date effing yoga girls and people that are into working out, and it was basically telling her that she's not
She's like
fit,
not fit enough for him.
Oh.
Nice
And
vibes.
it was like
But here's my thought is that people who work out, who are like very fit, if they're crazy about it, it's the same as if like you're dating like a really crazy car person, like a car guy or a guy who's really into gaming or whatever. If you're dating any person who has something that is their defining characteristic, they're gonna love that more than you. And especially when it comes to working out, you don't want to date somebody who can't sit on the couch with you and watch hours of Evan Peters shows.
Oh man.
I think this is an L
you know
take. This is
exactly
an L
what
take.
you're
You don't want to
doing.
date
This is a L
somebody
take, my
who can't have meals with you
This is a L
because
take.
they're obsessed with how fit. You don't want to date somebody who can't go hang out with you because they have to go to the gym and they're obsessed with themselves. I'm just saying this is a thing that I've
But what
dated
about the gym
people in my
couples,
life.
like the couples that are
That's
both
even
that
that's
are
horrific.
both
It sounds to me like
you should just date somebody on the same level of crazy and obsessed as you are.
What it is, it sounds like it comes down to an issue of addiction. Because it sounds like if the person is too hardcore of a trainer, they're too much in the gym, like 8 hours in there, and they're not spending enough time with their partner, paying enough attention
Yeah.
to their other person, whatever it is.
I think it goes.
That sounds like the issue.
for any kind of person who's filling a God-sized hole with an obsession, whether that's working out or, like I said, a car or whatever. It is those people who have this thing that's part of their personality. I think a lot of times they don't have room for anybody else.
Yeah.
They don't have room for anybody else.
I feel slightly attacked, just a little bit.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of you.
I
was
know.
thinking of like
I know
fit,
you weren't thinking
I was
of me,
thinking
'cause
like
I know I'm
fit
not fit right now at
Fit
all.
guys who go to
That's
the
not
gym.
true.
But I do
you
like
are
to go to
very
the gym.
fit for
No, you-
having
you
hips,
are. You're-
double
you're
hip
fit.
surgery.
Double hip surgery. But I think the takeaway there is just like do it together.
No,
Like,
I don't think
I
that
don't-
you're the
why-
kind of
what's the
person
problem?
who, first of all,
You're not
couples
there
working out is the
24/7.
grossest thing in the world. When couples work out together, disgusting. Secondly, I don't think that you're the type that I'm
like
sort of
matching
referring
PJs.
to. It's
This
more these guys
relationship
who
is
are
not
like
working
in the
out.
manosphere who are all about themselves and posting videos of themselves and all
There's
they're
a
doing
difference
is
between that
That's like an
person and somebody who
influencer.
just like takes care of themselves.
no, I know, but I'm saying
That's like a fitness influencer type.
anybody who's super hot and fit and you know who else is Kat Timpf talks about this
Who?
about how you can't date a super hot guy with six pack.
Who is this?
Cat
She's
Timpf.
a comedian.
Oh, from Fox. Yes, we know Cat.
We know Kat.
Fine.
Do you want to say anything?
I
here?
thought Robert was going to have a lot more to say about the diet itself because Robert ate boy
The
dinner
same boiled chicken.
for like
lunch for
5
years.
years straight.
Well,
Boiled
I do
chicken and
want
white
to. Is
rice.
there a word to describe things that have already existed for many years? The way we say looks maxing, gesture maxing, boy kibble. All of this has already existed for many, many years. It's not. It's just we're creating a new word for it.
A new label.
That's able to put it back in the headlines, and then we're able to discuss it again. And it's just recycling information.
Which
that we've
I
already
hate it,
used.
but also I think without it we would have half a show.
I understand, and so if there's a word for that, that's the word I'd like to use right now to express myself because I have done this. I've done, like Sam said, when we used to film our show in the station, I would bring chicken and rice every day. It was not seasoned. You guys would look at me and think I'm a monster, and I was just like, I have to eat
Well,
this.
and the carton of liquid egg whites, I think, is
Yeah.
actually the part that we were pretty disgusted
Yeah,
with.
because it turned your insides into a plumbing
A little
experiment.
sulfur factory.
Did you guys experience that once before?
Oh, did we ever, brother?
Remember we made a little candle, the Eau de Robert,
yeah.
whatever,
Oh, yeah.
Eau de Five
It used to
Live.
be like really a part of his personality.
Yeah.
Look,
Jason let us light a candle in a very strictly open
no
flame.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like even
In a
when,
room that was like, don't let the fire marshal even know this room exists.
remember that we had to lock the door. We
Yes.
like put all the blinds line.
Yeah.
That room
Close
is
the
gone
blind. Yeah,
now,
they
so
don't
we
have it
can say
anymore.
this. But like, even when they cater Thanksgiving or Christmas for like the crews that are working on a holiday,
Right.
they can't use those little Bunsen burner looking things
No.
Right,
to
yeah.
heat up.
When
the
morning show guests come in, they can't cook
tray
inside the
warmers.
house or inside the building.
No, but it was so stinky
Yeah.
in our little room
He made it
that we were
excessive.
allowed to light a flame.
Yeah.
The poor reporters who are out in the rain
in
can't
hopes
come back
that the
to
whole
a hot
building
meal.
just go.
Yes.
Yeah. They were like
This is not of
a
this
methane
world.
explosion.
We
No.
need-
Right.
You need to find a new planet,
Oh my
new
goodness.
plane of existence.
That's
out of
right.
this.
I don't know. I think you know, if it works for you, whatever. I'm so sick of this idea that like by being a radical lunatic,
This is
you
your,
will be
this
happy.
is his zipper merging.
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
so fired
Yeah.
up about this.
Yeah.
Really triggered.
I think
because
it's fine
you're
to work out.
No, and, sure.
Uh,
I'm zipper merging into this conversation.
No,
Zipper merging out of it.
no, you have police traffic break this conversation. I just spit. PDA at the gym is where you draw the line.
That's gross.
Like if you guys are working out and you're like holding hands or kissing or like, we don't need that at the gym.
No.
Work out together, stay on your own treadmills, lift your own weights over here, do your
Shouldn't.
yoga over
No.
there. But like you don't need to meet up and like
There is no reason a couple needs to go to the gym together at all. I will stand on this on like a business.
is there
and
a
I will-
reason a person should have to go to the gym at all?
What?
Yeah. What? Yeah. What?
I'm just wondering if you're okay with the concept of going to the gym because you're really fighting hard against
Yeah,
it.
no,
Right
I just like I think it's like when couples go
Down
to the
with
gym.
gyms.
Couples go to the gym. What
So
happens
anti.
is, at least in my experience, it becomes a policing. You're doing this wrong from the other side
Okay,
of
now
the
question.
gym.
You have said you've seen your ex's friend at the gym. Do you put on a little extra weight like as you're lifting when you see this person so that they can go back and be like, wow, Andy's looking good. They
You know,
say.
he was using 15s as opposed to 10s this time.
No, but like if you see somebody that you
I
know at
don't-
the gym, do
I
you
don't.
like try a little harder?
No, and I want everyone to leave me alone at the gym and not. I don't even want to be visible there at all to anybody.
Oh, it's so awful.
I hate it. I like the gym, especially in LA, is about being seen, and
Yes.
Equinox.
yeah.
Isn't that where your membership is?
Yeah.
There's your problem.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, but I
gotta
gotta
go to,
do,
like,
it's like
Crunch
basically
or
cheaper
Planet
than
Hollywood.
Crunch now because I've been a member for so long and I got an employee discount. None of this is important. Quick break. We'll be right
is
back
much
with
more
more
interesting than
right
the other
after this.
ones.
I know.
Very
Isn't that
interesting.
crazy?
You're so turned on.
Heated.
Oh, you're still paying for it?
Oh yeah. I'll pay for forever.
The lady dog.
Welcome back to the
Oh,
show
man,
where
that's hilarious.
we've ever lost our way sometime. Now we're back. You know the best way to ingratiate yourself to somebody? Make them like you. Tell them
Money.
what to wear. They love that. That's what Norwegian Cruise
No
has been
wonder
doing.
James Duran has so many friends in the newsroom.
I'm just trying to help people. Like, I'm trying to help you. That's all.
Are you saying you do this too?
He does this, but not even what you're
does.
wearing. It's what's underneath. Oh, cankles, huh? Interesting.
I have such a complex because of Robert.
There's a lot been
Please
going
tell
on
us.
at Norwegian Cruise Lines that people are upset about. They've instituted a crackdown on the dress code. No longer can you grotesquely roll out your chaise lounge and belly up to their high-end eateries, at least not if you're in shorts or flip-flops. Same goes for hats, tank tops, hoodies, jeans with holes, or robes. No
this.
robes at a high-end steakhouse. Honestly, if you're wearing a robe to a high-end steakhouse,
Yeah.
The thought
Good for
process,
you.
Good for
the
you.
thought process is I'm on a cruise ship. I'm on
Well-
vacation. It's like
yes.
you're still in public, my friend.
Obviously, this has gotten to a point where it's so bad that people have to make these rules because of what people are doing. But can you imagine being in a hot and humid climate and you're sweating all day and having to throw on pants and shoes before you peel into a peel and eat shrimp?
Yeah.
Norwegian is generally known for their laid-back vibe.
The maintained eye contact when you emphasize the word
Shrimp.
So offensive.
Shrimp.
Yeah, that was, it was just so
Very
charged.
pointed,
That
yeah.
word became so charged.
Does it bother you that we
Are you
eat your
trying to
people?
tell me I should go to the gym?
Oh, shrimp.
Shrimp.
Shrimp arms.
So a lot of people are upset about this. They're- yeah, shrimp.
You and your 26,
Your 26
legs.
legs.
You shrimp.
And that head that twists off super easy with your creepy bug eyes and whiskers.
Man. Man.
So the people are mad because they say Norwegian used to be chill and fun, and now you're taking away all the fun. They're saying that they're never going again.
Norwegia?
It's like
Yeah.
when we used to do this show wearing jeans and t-shirts, and then somebody put on a sports coat
Yep.
and a tie. I'm just
Or a
kidding.
seashell sweater one week, and the
Yeah.
guy shows up in a blazer the next.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh. Didn't,
He's like attacked. He's like, why am I like it?
I don't know. Again, catching strays for literally nothing. I didn't do anything to you people.
wait, aren't these from Norway?
They are.
Yeah, those are
yeah.
Norway.
Yeah.
Well,
Those are dressed appropriately.
They were not purchased on a cruise.
so cute.
Yes, we are, but we are running out of time here, Sam.
All right.
Okay,
well,
look,
basically,
look,
all
look,
you need to know
bye.
is that if you're gonna go on a Norway cruise, then don't wear your
Dress
robe
up.
to dinner.
Look.
Thank goodness. Oh, yes, there you go.
Bye.
It's so cute. Okay.
Okay, bye.
See you on the internet.
Bye-bye.
There you go. Bye-bye.